Welcome to The Gorgeous Effect, the podcast that's about to rock your marketing world. I'm Julie Chanel, and with my co-founder, Kathy Olson, we're the masterminds behind Funnel Gorgeous and FG Funnels. We're about to drop some serious tea on how to create funnels that not only look amazing, but actually convert into customers. We'll chat mouth-watering offers, copy, design, and give you an inside look of some of our best and worst funnels. No smoke and mirrors, just real strategies that work from two ladies who have been around the funnel block. So grab your coffee or something stronger, we won't judge, and get ready to unleash the gorgeous effect on your business. It's time to show the world what you've got. Let's do this. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Gorgeous Effect. Today, we are going to do something we have never done before on this podcast. We are going to actually brainstorm together live on the mic, and you are going to get to be a fly on the wall and see how Kathy and I think about new marketing strategy. And today's topic is about lead magnets, list builders, opt-ins, whatever you want to call them. All of our opt-ins, with the exception of one, have kind of crashed and burned. And this is pretty common. And so Kathy said, hey, why don't we have a brainstorm session on the podcast and kind of take people through our process and then actually come up with a lead magnet? Because Kathy, you're the one that's running ads and you're like, hey, we need some new stuff. Right. And
yeah. I mean, to be fair, the ones that we've been running have been going for a long time. Like it takes us a while to burn out of a really good one. like we're talking more than a year, probably. I don't even know when those email swipes. I feel like that's almost
like more than a year. That's like
that's a long time. So we squeezed every little bit. So first of all, if you're thinking we're just switching this all the time, that's not true. We find one that works and we run the crap. We run it all the way into the ground till there's nothing left on that bone. So don't go switching. I just don't want to get people into that of like, oh, you should switch these all the time. Like, no, ride it out. But now we're at the point where we've been running these lead magnets forever because we're always running lead magnets. That's one thing I don't know if people know about us is that we're always spending money, whether we're launching or not, to get people on our list because, people are coming, going. It's like that, the revolving door, right? So yeah, so today, and I have no idea if this is going to work because I've never done it before. But I really want to and we also want to focus on the right leads. We don't want just any leads. We don't want to just be like, what is everyone talking about right now? Yeah, I'm saying this to you and I'm saying this to them, right? What are the ones that will get us the quality, and then thinking about the end game of the products and the software that's selling really well right now to get them kind of primed into becoming, clients and customers.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Before we do this though, I did a presentation back in November and I told all my private clients that only high quality free offers should go out into the marketplace. And so as we brainstorm, I want to limit it to the following categories. We can't do PDFs anymore. Womp, womp, womp. Like our old email swipes PDF are it's over. It's over. Rest in peace PDF. I don't think
poor little PDF. She served us well for such a long time. She gets to retire now. She gets to go run.
I know. Five possible types of high quality free offers. And I'm going to just run through them really fast. And we already have one. The first is a book, and that's a high quality free offer. And we are already running that. That's $1 Million Grit. We're getting leads for about 79 cents because the funnel is liquidating a little bit, not fully, but enough to lower our lead cost. And those are good quality leads because they're downloading a book. Second category is some sort of free course, free email course, free audio course. It cannot be just a PDF. It has to feel like, oh, I'm actually opting in. And I am bringing this up because back in 2016, when I was helping a client proofread anywhere, she had an email course, a 7-day email course about proofreading that did super, super well. And I resurrected that idea with a private client just about 2 months ago. And I said, why don't we do an email course? And she's killing it, getting leads so cheap and leads that are responding to her and asking, oh, when's the next day coming? When's the next day coming? I was like, okay, so email courses and audio courses for free. That would be the second category. We don't have anything like that right now. Category number 3 is an assessment. And I would say be careful with these because they can attract really low quality leads unless you're going to do a very advanced assessment. Think I don't know, taking the Myers-Briggs or taking the Enneagram, something like that. That would be an assessment that could get you good leads. So we don't have that. Number 4 is a newsletter. Now we do have a newsletter, but that is really just for our internal community. We don't actually have a really compelling weekly newsletter. I think that you can gain an audience very, very fast. You can also monetize your newsletter. That is also a high quality free offer. That's good if you want to build a big influence. And then number five is micro SaaS. And that is some sort of web app, some sort of AI tool, some sort of SaaS that you can get tons and tons of leads for free as they use it. Those are the categories that I'm saying qualify as high quality free offers. And I just want to give a quick little plug before you and I dive in. If you are an FG Funnels customer, you can get access to the Audience Builder Challenge for free. It's inside your account. You just go on the left hand menu bar when you log into the dashboard. Go to Audience Builder Challenge. We walk you step by step through this process. If you are not an FG Funnels customer and you want to do the challenge, you can go to audiencebuilderchallenge.com and it's a $97 2-week challenge. We teach you everything you need to know. All right. If we knock out book, and I kind of want to knock out assessment just because of the complexity, that leaves us with an email or audio course, a newsletter, or a micro SaaS or web tool. Have I sparked any ideas by saying that or no?
Well, micro SaaS, I feel like we're already doing with Metrics Muse. So like either we tie it
Mm,
into Metrics Muse or we don't do it because we have Metrics Muse because we're doing micro SaaS basically every month. We're coming up with like a GPT.
correct.
I say we, I'm not. You are
It is
coming.
true. I am doing that every month. Yeah, that is
Right. So either it somehow ties in with it since we're already doing it, or I do have a second idea from what you
okay.
were
Go
just
ahead.
talking
Tell me what it is.
about. Well, you talked about this we had a meeting a few days ago, and we talked about Launch Gorgeous and the accelerator and how a lot of the people just want to set up a lead magnet.
Yep.
So I'm like, if that's our biggest thing that we're getting in customer service, they're saying, I just want to set up a lead magnet. We could do some kind of a small course, email or audio with some almost kind of what we were just talking about creating a what'd you call it? High
High
quality,
quality free
something
offer.
like that. Yeah, free offer. So that was my first idea immediately was like, well, if everyone's saying that's where they want to start, that's also a good spot. I mean, the ABC challenge is kind of what we're sending them to right
Yeah.
now, but do we need something smaller front end before they get, because they're only going to see ABC when they're inside of FG
Yeah.
funnels.
And it's right now, ABC is not a free offer. It's a
Right.
$97 offer
Right.
and
So is
it's
there
worth every
either a
penny.
smaller
Yeah.
version of ABC basically,
Okay.
or something in the micro SaaS with Metrics Muse?
Okay. All right. What about I feel like doing something tied into metrics to me would be the micro SaaS. I feel like the idea you just gave about before the audience builder challenge would be more in the email course idea.
Right.
Like we could do an email course. If we're not going to do an assessment, I mean, I just like pulled rank on you there. I don't know. Did you want to? I don't want to do an assessment, but maybe I should ask you if you want to do one.
I'm not like, yeah, I think you'd have to talk me into it.
Okay, then
So,
let's get rid of
so
it. Okay.
because I also know the complexity, but I also know assessments are good for a lot of traffic, but it's not really filtered traffic. It's like,
Yeah.
quizzes and stuff. They're always just like, hey, like we need 10,000 people on our list by the end of the month, and who cares? Like, let's just
Yeah,
throw
yeah.
out a whole huge net. So I'm not really ready for all the work that's gonna entail. So I think we're on the same page.
Okay. And then we already have a book. So the book is we've already got
And we
that.
kind
And
of
that
already
book,
have a newsletter, so that would also be like a weird.
well, hold on.
Oh, are you going with that?
Yeah. So right now, I feel like I like your idea about something before the Audience Builder Challenge as an email course. I think that we could make that work and could have legs. I like the idea of the Metrics Muse possibly adding a lead magnet, micro SaaS or micro app on the front. But I'm also like thinking about the newsletter, and I think the reason why I like newsletters, I mean, our Adventures in Marketland newsletter is a pretty poor excuse for a newsletter. I mean,
Well, it's just very internal. It's like here's an
it's
internal memo
extremely
on everyone who's using FG funnels and everyone who's in our courses. Like it's like here's what you need to know when you're already a customer.
right. When you're already in our ecosystem, here's the time for the calls, here's the updates, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. A newsletter, though, a true newsletter, like Sahil Bloom's newsletter, The Curiosity Chronicles, or Nick, what's his name, from The Friendly Mind, or things like that. Those are newsletters that are curating like news and thoughts,
Outside.
and they
Yeah.
have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. And they use Sparkloop, which is that little tool that's integrated with Kit, I think. And then you can also monetize it. You can also get spots on different people's newsletters. I don't know. I mean, I'm a little nervous about email deliverability these days and overabundance of information, but I am kind of attracted to the newsletter idea. I don't know. What do you think?
I'm surprised because that seems like it would be almost all in your wheelhouse. And so that's why I wasn't going to go there because I'm like, well, who's writing this? It's not really not going to be me. So like, I'm like, it's almost like you're like, oh, let's create a whole new design thing. And then that would be in my wheelhouse. Like, I feel like newsletter would be very much in your wheelhouse. But if it excites you and you're the
Yeah, well,
one
I wouldn't
saying it,
necessarily be able to do it all myself. I think I'd have to leverage some AI tools and curate some content because like it would be, yeah, it would be
but it's
definitely.
only content that you'd have to keep
I
making.
know, I know,
Like
I know.
this isn't like developing a lead magnet that does it one time. This is not that. This is the opposite of that. But I agree with you. It's a bigger it's a bigger play. It could get obviously like we could get a lot more I mean a lot more subscribers. It's an asset that we build. So it's just a bigger project, I think. But yeah.
Well, okay, let's think about this for a second because we let's talk about traffic for a minute. I want to like steer this ship. So we're using Meta ads right now to run traffic to the webinar, and that's working great. Where we're falling down is on Google ads, right? I mean, obviously we can do Google ads for branded search and for search terms, but if we were going to run Google ads and try to get leads, a lot of the traditional lead magnets don't work well on Google ads. Uh, but either a micro SaaS tool or a newsletter, I think either one of those we could use with Google ads pretty effectively. And I think we could also use it with YouTube if we ever decided to pick that back up again as well. So I lean more towards the micro SaaS or the newsletter versus the email
Meaning it
course.
being like a CTA. You're saying this as a CTA and news signing up for newsletter works better is what you're saying?
I think so. Or like we said, some sort of micro SaaS tool that we build. But again, that's a project. The thing is, you might be listening to us go back and forth and be thinking, man, Julie and Kathy, like these are all projects. Exactly. The PDFs and the checklist don't work anymore. You need high quality free offers and things that people would normally expect to pay for and have it be free. That's how you get good quality leads.
But if you knew what you were building was so high quality that it would last you a year and get you a year's worth of leads and cheap ads, then totally worth it. You know, or like
100%.
that's why it's like this isn't short term. We're going to be building something that will hopefully last a year or even longer.
True.
I
Well,
think it's ultimately what's our goal. Like, and so if we look at, so if we've narrowed it down to small course, newsletter, micro SaaS, what, like, which one ultimately serves the goal that we're looking for?
right. And I think if we look at the primary revenue drivers in our company, the webinar funnel is working really well. And I mean, even though it would be great to pull more people into the webinar through cheaper means, we're already getting leads for fairly inexpensively just by running ads to the webinar. As long as and I'm pointing at Kathy now, you guys can't see us, but as long as you keep making ads, and I keep presenting well on the webinar, like that machine is working pretty well and probably can scale. The book is already attracting the beginner market and honestly, I feel like we have not optimized that funnel at all. Like we've just been running it to warm traffic. And if we want to actually get good quality leads who are beginners, we probably need to make a new version of that landing page that's more impactful and maybe make the tripwire better. So if we have webinar ads that are already working and we have book ads that are working, what problem will we try to solve with this new type of lead magnet? And my instinct tells me that we want to get to new markets that we can't currently reach. And that to me says, how do we sponsor other people's newsletters? Or how do we use Google ads? Or how do we use LinkedIn ads? Or how do there was something else I was going to say. I can't remember now. Like accessing other networks, like the Substack network or the Kit
Yeah.
network or like to me, it seems like we've already got the lead magnets that are working in the current. So I don't want to just make more of the same. I want to do something that's going to like bust open a new market. That's the problem we're trying to solve, in my opinion. But I don't know if you agree.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that the other things are playing smaller and they're just lead mag. They're just like, okay, let's create more of what we already have versus you saying let's expand, horizontally out.
Right.
It's just it scares me because it is a project, but this is the biggest project. The biggest project is the newsletter.
I
But also
don't know.
like
I think the
we don't,
microsas would actually be a slightly larger project, just because unless you're
but it's
just
not
talking about
going,
a
it's not
GPT.
ongoing. That's my thing. It's not ongoing.
Well,
But
it is if you have users and logins and security issues. And if you're actually building a micro SaaS, like if what you're talking about is like just a GPT, a
I
custom
was talking about
GPT.
a GPT, so I
Oh,
guess we're
yeah.
talking
Okay.
about different things.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
That's why I was like, this is a la Metrics Muse. Like we're doing these all the time. We're doing GPTs. But yeah, if you're talking about like an actual monthly subscription, then yes, that would be much
That would
bigger.
be free. It would be a free thing, but it would still require like a login or something like that. That's a big project.
Yeah, not what I thought we were talking about.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not as excited about that now that we're talking about. I mean, not that like because well, we've also we guys what you guys don't know is we've been thinking about this for a long time. Like as far as software, micro SaaS, we've been talking about this
Yeah, but
for
the whole SaaS
years.
industry is
Yeah,
collapsing.
so this has been a year's conversation. So that one's like kind of opening up an old dusty corner of an attic that I'd like to close. Not re I'm open to it. I'm open to it, but I'm very hesitant. So sell me on this idea of the newsletter and like pitch it to me. Like what would this be? What would it look like? How much time would it take? How often is it? Like,
Well, so one thing that we are doing right now, which I kind of want to like put my teacher hat on for a minute, is that so far for the duration of this brainstorm, we have been talking about our problem, which is, hey, we need to solve XYZ, which is fine because a lot of us start that way. But if we are transitioning now to like, okay, how would this actually work? We have to get out of our problem and into the customer's problem. And I think determining whether or not we do an email course or a newsletter or microsas or GPT depends on what problem do we want to solve for our customer and what would be the best way, what would be the best medium. We're already solving the tech issues and the tech overwhelm through our webinar. We are already solving that problem and we just need to keep working that funnel. My book teaches is helping solve the problem of like, how do I get started? Like I have an idea, like all of that stuff. So what other problems do our customers have right now that we are not solving effectively that we could? That's a big question.
hmm.
And maybe we need to whip up like our chat or look at some of our customer support
Well, you
and
have your weekly thing of like everything that everyone's struggling with in DI. Don't you? You have a
I
list
do,
of that.
yeah. And I can tell you right off the top of my head, people are struggling with burnout. People are struggling with uh feeling like they're out of time, they're out of attention. This
What do
is
you
not
mean out of time?
just like there's
Like
too
like
much.
they're gonna have to close their businesses if they don't get something to work? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like they're gonna have to close their
There's no
business.
more runway.
There's no more runway. They're broke. Like things that used to work don't work anymore. They are struggling to keep up with the changes of AI and how it's impacting online marketing. And I think if I were to like create a prescription, like if I were to prescribe like a newsletter for DIers, those are digital insiders, my private clients, I would probably this is not very effective because this is kind of too general, but I would probably give them like, here's how to make money this week. Here's the one thing you need to know about AI this week. Here's something that can help you with time management and burnout recovery. And here's something that has nothing to do with AI, but is just good for you as a human being. Like
So we
that's,
call it surviving next week.
I mean, that would be that. That's awesome. That's awesome.
I mean, I know it's almost like just in time learning or whatever, like your next step, but like literally like let's just get and then like every week it's like the week like whatever like it's if it goes out on I don't know Fridays or something. It's like let's get through and then whatever next Friday is. Like like that's the date. And that's what
Yeah, surviving
we're
next
going to
week.
get through this one week and then we're going to get to the next week until you can see what we can do the next week.
Yeah. I mean, that is what I would build for my private clients. And I think they would really appreciate it. And I think if I said, this is the only thing you have to think about this week for, AI news is the only thing you have to think about for your time management, something like that. I think they would really they would really like that. I think
Yeah.
the how to get paid this week would be that's another angle that I think, like how to survive next week, how to get paid next week,
Yeah, I mean,
those are,
because you could have like multiple goals, like something that you're working on for the month or whatever, and but that's broken down into like, you know what I'm saying? So like you can still have like you're doing little steps to build to something bigger, eventually get there, like putting out stuff out there, getting on a podcast episode or whatever, getting something booked, like whatever. Like that's obviously like future pacing, but it's really interesting because what I wrote down from what you said was burned out, left behind, confused at what to do next. And then you said the thing about like, like the just the next step, basically.
yeah.
Um,
Well,
Interesting.
what's interesting is that I did an email like that to our Funnel Gorgeous list, and just a bit ago when we were talking about Easiest Yes, and I said, "Hey, here's a sales tip you can do today," and it was like the 5-person sprint, and I gave them sort of a task to do, and then when we got on the webinar a couple days later, one of the customers on the webinar said, "I did the 5-person sprint in your email, and I closed a $1,900 client,"
Yep.
and I thought, oh my gosh, like sometimes I feel like people just need to be told what to do, not because they're not capable, but because they're so overwhelmed. They want containment. I mean, if there is one word that I hear in my chat GPT like 100 times a day, because again, I'm transcribing every single Voxer message, chat is telling me create containment, like quiet the noise and tell them what the next thing is because they can't figure it out because there's so much coming at them. And I think all of us are in information overload. So the irony is a newsletter on the one hand feels like a bad idea because it's like, oh, that's information overload. But then on the other hand, I'm like, but if it's strategic and it creates containment, then maybe it would be something that people would love.
Yeah, I like it.
Did I sell you on it?
You still didn't give me any logistics, but I'm sold that it's a problem people are having and that people will want to sign up for it. So like I see the market fit and I see the potential. I still don't know what it looks like on our side, but I know you kind of switched gears anyways to think about the marketing side of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is one of those things that people would be brainstorming this and be like, you should charge for this. Like you should charge, whatever, $5 a month or $10 a month and, have a weekly blah, 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 or whatever. And that's a good sign that it's a good high quality free offer. If people would be like, man, I'd pay for this. And then we're like,
Does it need to be a free offer?
yes, yes, it
Okay.
has to be free. Because we already have Metrics Muse, which is like $12 a month. If we want to have an offer like that,
Also,
that's
yeah,
like,
we want it to reach as far as possible too. So like the idea, right, is that like again, we're trying to make this as wide as possible, then we wouldn't want to gatekeep it behind money.
exactly. The I would need some help though with, like you said, like the branding and the market position because newsletters that take off are newsletters that are clever or like quippy. I don't know what word I'm looking for, but it's, like you said, how to survive next week. Like that's a funny newsletter. Like people are going to sign up for that versus like sign up for the Funnel Gorgeous newsletter. It's like, no, I don't want to.
No, I don't want to.
But you know
I
what I
don't
mean?
I actually don't know a ton about newsletters. Like I've heard about them. I don't know. I guess I'm not like on them or something. I sign
Do
up
you
for
not
them, but I don't
subscribe
really
to
read them.
newsletters?
I do, but not like I don't really because I hate being in my inbox. So I'm like as soon as I don't know, but I do have things where I'm part of like a Patreon that
Hmm.
like does video drops and so it's basically like that I think, but I think it's just not in my email newsletter. Like I think because like log in somewhere else it doesn't bother me as much. So maybe that's it. And not to say that I'm like necessarily like let's make everything for me because I might not be the person. I'm just saying I'm not really like familiar with opening up my inbox and waiting for a newsletter. So
Right.
like either from if we are going for something like cross, like is there a place to put it where people would go other than their email newsletter, whatever. I mean, in the
Yeah, I mean,
inbox.
you could use like a Substack. You could do a Substack, although Substack is more long form thought leadership, and that
Yeah, I
wouldn't
don't
be.
even know if it has to be or yeah, I guess I'm asking you. Like what you tell me more or like help me understand kind of how people are using. Are they like waiting for it? It just pops in and they're like, "Oh yeah, here it is." And they like move it to their primary and that's how they kind of read them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm subscribed to like Sahil Bloom's like Curiosity Chronicles, and I think he posts it once a week, and it just comes to my inbox. It's just an email. That's all it is. I am also subscribed to a few AI newsletters, and those go out every single day. And I have to admit, I do get a little overwhelmed by the ones that go out daily because I'm like, I get behind, then I'm like, and that's the end of that. Like, I can't,
Oh, you feel
like,
like you feel a need to like look at all of them?
well, I don't, but what happens is I read the actual subject line, and if it's something that's interesting, then I go ahead and I read I like open the email. But the this newsletter that I subscribe to, it's like basically all curated posts. So like if I open his newsletter and it's like Gemini 3, Flash, blah, blah, blah. If I click on it, it's then a 7-minute blog post article, right? So it's curating news. That's the type of article it is. Whereas
Hmm.
Sahil Bloom's is more like long form content, one signature piece, plus a few things. I think for both of these, the problem that I'd want to solve for our audience would be like, I would want them to open it and be able to take action fast and not get overwhelmed. And I would absolutely not want it to go out more than once a week. And I'd want it to be high on action and low on consumption. That would be so
Hmm.
like it would be a super short newsletter, but it would be impactful. Like hopefully it would like actually change their life and change their business and change their week and change their bottom line and those types of things,
That's
which
cool.
might be hard for us to pull off well. But
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
like
it would,
I just thought of one that I'm like in some financial one, and I haven't opened any of them recently, but I think every once in a while I'll see it. But it seems like it's just a bunch of links out to all these other places, like you're saying. Yours like they have a daily and they have a weekly, and then
yeah,
they have events. So then there's the event one that has like an event thing. But I'm wondering like would this mean like guests like posters or like, you know what I mean? Like is it
no,
bringing anybody else's voice in?
it would no, it would just be it would be very curated to solve the like, so for example, if we named it How to Survive Next Week, it would literally be maybe there's like four categories: time management, money,
Mm,
whatever. And like it would help you survive next week. We would just have to fulfill on that promise. I don't want to do a curated thing. Like I don't want to do that. I don't want to like research around the internet. I don't want to do long form thought leadership articles and things like that. It would be a very tactically speaking, it would be focused on action. That'd be
okay.
the only type of newsletter I'd be down for.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like looking in my email about other ones, but they all seem to be like a lot of them link to other articles and stuff like that. So yeah, maybe I'll need to do some research as far as the branding stuff is concerned, but it sounds like you have a pretty good idea of what you'd want it to be.
Yeah, I think so. The only other thing, just to kind of circle back from the micro SaaS, if you said at the beginning of this, we could take something from Metrics Muse or like pull something out or do something like that. I would be down to do some sort of custom GPT. I had an opt-in that was doing well. It was the email energy score, and it was basically the GPT that like scores the energy on your emails, and I
Yeah.
got lots of leads from that. But everybody's doing GPTs now, so it'd have to be something unusual, and then it could lead right into the Metrics Muse. Like, do you want more of this? Like, sign up for
Mm,
Metrics Muse. And
yeah.
so I'd be down to do that also, like, so that we have the book, we have the webinar, we have the micro SaaS, uh, possibly the newsletter. And as far as an email course, I just don't know.
Well, I know
Yeah,
you said basic like with for that you're thinking that the webinar is good enough for that for now.
I do. I do kind of think the webinar is good enough. I think we just need to double down on what's already working.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we have a plan. Yeah.
Yes. Now we have to tell everybody and start getting it like
And now
figuring
we have
out.
to
Yeah,
do it. And
we got to
then,
wrap it. Okay, so like next level or next step would be for us to wrap our heads around the project, figuring out like what would need to be set up, who needs to set it up, thinking of all those things, kind of like, delegating out some of it. Also like when it was going to launch, we need to figure out timing on it. I have to do branding stuff, naming and all that good stuff.
yeah.
But I mean, I kind of, if you like that, I don't know. Like the only thing I'm not sure about the name is surviving. I don't know if I like it or if it's like too negative, but
Yeah, I
maybe
know.
it's honest enough that like that's fine. You know,
Yeah,
like
that's a great question. I mean, maybe we do some social media stuff and we test the ideas before, because if we're going to do this, like And we want to get 100,000 new leads from like we want a newsletter that can gather we can get 100,000 new leads. Like we probably should spend a little time figuring out what's going to connect with people. And I mean, I'm basing it based on like here is the newsletter I would love to give to my clients, and if we could get 100,000 of those people on the Funnel Gorgeous list, that would be amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is the way we talk. This was completely unfiltered. We didn't pause once. We just went, but I think we have a good plan. And the takeaway that I will just give to all of you is to make sure that if you start with a brainstorm based on solving your problem, make sure you toggle over to the customer's problem, because otherwise you'll get too navel gazy and you may make something nobody cares about.
No one wants to be navel gazy.
Navel gazy. That is my new phrase for 2026. Don't be so navel gazy.
Love it.
All right. Awesome. Talk soon, everyone.
Hey, gorgeous. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. And if you're thinking, okay, but what now? We've got you. So just for listening today, we want to give you a gift. Head over to learngorgeous.com. We're going to grab some free resources, free trainings, this month's specials, and everything you need to keep going. Until next time, make it gorgeous.